I've been extraordinarily privileged and blessed with wonderful career opportunities, wonderful professional colleagues, and an added bonus is to be able to do that in this community. It's just been an extraordinary blessing and privilege. My early career was in the Navy aboard a gasoline tanker delivering gasoline up and down the coast of Vietnam. As an ensign right out of college with zero experience, you're put in charge of a group of 25 to 30 people. In my case, it was the deck department. And you're forced to rely on those people to get your work done. What I learned from that was the absolute importance of remaining calm in all circumstances, and the fact that you have to rely on the people around you that work for you to get the job done. And in reality, from that I learned, in effect, you work for them. When I left active duty on the Navy, we were here in Patuxent River, and I worked for 1 year as a contract specialist, and then I worked for a private company in the area for 2 years as a project analyst. And what I learned from that is, frankly, my skill set isn't really compatible with being a project analyst, and I probably ought to find something else to do. After that, I co-founded a company in the mid-1980s and stayed with that for 25 years until I retired. I learned many lessons from that. One is that I was relatively decent at strategic growth planning. Another is I learned the importance of pushing decision-making down into the organization as close as possible to where the work is being done. I learned the importance of mentoring leaders throughout the company. I also learned the importance of ethics and setting the tone at the top. This cannot be delegated. The leader has got to set the tone at the top constantly by his or her actions and their words, and they have to infuse ethical leadership throughout the company. I also learned that you have to keep your word no matter what, even if it acts to your disadvantage. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it.
I remember 2 instances where John McAllister really stood out as a business leader, doing what he felt was the right thing to do, even though he certainly didn't have to. The first was late September in 2001. The World Trade Center had just been attacked, and 6 EMA employees, including me, were given recall notices to return to active military status. This was a scary time, and the fact that many of us were being recalled after being completely out of the service for some time meant our families were going to be hit with extreme financial hardship. John called us together and invited us to go forward and fight for our country, send in copies of our leave and earning statements to HR at EMA, and he assured us he would pay us the difference in our salary for the next 2 years, fund our 401ks, and allow us to maintain our benefits. I don't know of any other defense contractor that was so generous with their staff. The second time was when I proposed to John that 3 of us were breaking away from EMA to start our own business, which became Technology Security Associates Incorporated. I was the pitch man, and I sat right in front of John at his desk and rushed through a PowerPoint deck detailing our plans and how we would all get along, world peace would happen, etc. My last statement to John was, and surely when you left Booz Allen Hamilton to start EMA, you had the same conversation with your employer. John paused and replied, no, they would have fired me on the spot. Well, concern washed over me, but then John said, while he was not pleased about the proposal, he would support us as long as we parted ways amicably. And we did. He supported us. And today, TSA continues to be a successful business 15 years after that PowerPoint presentation.
Developing excellent relationships throughout the community is another really important facet. Ultimately, companies are like children on a playground. You've got to get along with everybody. In the company context, this means you have to get along with your suppliers. It means you have to get along with your business associates. It means you have to get along with your competitors. And it means you have to develop relationships with nonprofit organizations. It all works together as a system to make a community work.
John McAllister has dedicated countless hours over the years supporting our community. He served on numerous boards, shared his home for charitable functions, and mentored hundreds of individuals toward achieving their career goals. John didn't just think supporting the community was right, he acted, as evidenced in part by the many community events that enjoyed the financial sponsorship of his company, EMA. John spent over 25 years building a successful business in this community. EMA brought thousands of jobs into our community and provided a pipeline for employees to excel in their careers. John's major focus at EMA was his people. Success to John was seeing his employees grow, whether within the company or beyond. John was, and to this day remains, focused on the people of this community. He is always willing to dedicate time to mentor those who seek his advice. Startup businesses or community leadership roles, The results of John's mentorship can be seen throughout the community.
An important component of my own mentoring was making mistakes at every turn, at every level, and usually more than once, many times, many mistakes. I've also learned from the people that worked with me. My wife Julie was our first HR director, and she gave the indoctrination for the first 600 or 700 people in the company, and frankly that set the tone for the entire existence of the company. I've been mentored by other people that I've worked with, one of whom is Todd Morgan, who taught me the importance of strategic business development. But he also taught me the importance of having someone in your inner circle who's willing to tell you what you don't want to hear, even if it makes you uncomfortable.
When I think of leadership, I think of my great friend John McAllister. He was my business partner and mentor for over 20 years. John taught me that leadership means it's just never about you. We built a culture at McAllister that always put the employees first, even if times when we weren't making any money. The reasoning was if you're loyal to your people, they will stay loyal to you. And I think it worked out really, really well. Many relationships built at McAllister some 35 years ago continue today. John was a passionate leader, but his leadership style was often silent and suggestive. Never do it because I said so. John led by consistently showing us the way. John showed us how to believe in ourselves, how to build our community, and how to succeed. His core values align perfectly with Leadership Southern Maryland, and it's very fitting that he is receiving this award. Congratulations, John.
I also learned from Patrick Murphy, who joined our company as our corporate counsel. I think he thought I was mentoring him, but in reality I learned from him the importance of having a fine, nuanced understanding of the law and how that can be a strategic advantage.
John has been a mentor to me for years. More than any person I have ever known, he has made more impact on my professional growth and has helped me grow and helped me to define my understanding of business ethics. In 2001, John took a chance and hired me as EMA's first and only general counsel. I had little government contracting experience. I was worried I may not do a good job and shared that concern with John. Interestingly, I shared it not only because I was nervous, but also because I did not want to let John down. John told me not to worry, do my best, and that he would help me and make sure I got all I needed to learn and grow in the role. John has always been there to answer questions or give me guidance on all kinds of issues. Through his mentorship, I earned my MBA, which John, through EMA, paid for, and I have also had the opportunity to go to Kuwait and South Korea to negotiate business deals. I'm a 2006 graduate of Leadership Maryland. John saw something in me that I may not have seen in myself. I feel that all these things would never have happened without his mentorship.
I think it's important for everybody to be a mentor of others. Everybody has contributions to make, and if you don't want your contributions to die, you have to pass those along in a mentoring relationship. As an example, I can think of 10, Todd could probably think of a couple more, people who have left our company and started their own company. This has resulted in hundreds of jobs, and it's a legacy that we're very proud of. I think people should not be reluctant to be mentors, rather they should be eager to do it. Because remember, a rising tide lifts all ships. The existence of Leadership Southern Maryland has taken what was a great community and made it even better. I feel honored to receive this award from Leadership Southern Maryland, not for me, but for the important focus it places on the role of mentoring and how to improve a community through mentoring.